Hello, yes, it's Joe here for joyridertv, live from Wild Wind Sailing Holidays Beach Club and Resort here in Vasiliki, Lefkas, Greece. Camera's pointing this way.
Well, we're just practicing. We're all smiling.
All right, hold on. There's new revellers in town. We all know Harry.
Hey.
Afternoon, Hein. Good to have you with us. This is my mother.
Yasu.
She's enjoying the Amstel. This is my sister.
Yes. Amstel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mythos. There's Karen, who you'd know from Stretching for Sailors, which of course you all were doing every week. And here's Rose.
Sup?
Yeah. Rose is throwing down some attitude there. All right, so we're back in the now. So yes, coming from Wild Wind, where we can just spend the next hour looking at some questions. Hello, James. Nice to have you on board. Of course, have those hats arrived yet? I bet they haven't, because they were sent using the Greek postal service, which I believe is not famous for being the quickest in the world. But oh, hi Panos, nice to have you with us from Patras. Talking of the Greek postal service, who else we got? Not yet. Oh, I think it's heightening the anticipation. Hello Billy. Hello Axel. Legend, yes. Hi Kush. Oh, Heinz scheduled a COVID test so he could come over on Tuesday. Great idea. Yes, that's what you need to do. Who have we got? German's fan. Hey, is there already a video on Dolphin Striker talk? I was searching, but I couldn't find anything. I think mine's loose. Okay, yeah, we were talking about the Dolphin Striker tension a while ago, and I'm going to have to look up the numbers again, because I have got the numbers. I've been speaking with ex-Hobie 16 world champion Gavin Colby, who has given me the numbers for your Dolphin Striker tension on your Hobie 16. I think with the F18 boats you can find out everything you need to know about Dolphin Striker tension online. But hi Sean. Yeah, slightly front slightly towed in, that is correct. Very slightly. Hi Bernie, you are the best, yeah, in Northern Michigan. Hi Joshua, nice to have you with us in the Solent. Very nice. Hi Nolan. Hobie 18 or Hobie 16? What a great question to almost kick off with. And the answer, I believe, hold on, I'm just positioning the camera. There's Jeff at Gear Report who has just got the answer. It's yes. All right. Just firstly, we're into the scrolling backstage already. This is good, because today, just letting you know, I can only stay on for 1 hour, so that is now 55 minutes. But the Hobie 16 would be, if you've got the choice for 16 or an 18, go for an 18 if you're always going to be sailing with two people and the combined weight of the two people is going to be heavier than, let's say, 160 kilos. If you're sometimes going to be sailing solo, sometimes going to be sailing with two people, but your combined weight is more often than not going to be under 160 kilos, then perhaps the 16 is the better choice. Yeah, there you go. But of course it does depend on what you can get hold of. If Nolan can you can solo an 18, you can solo anything, but the difference is with the 18 it's a bit more boat to manage, which just means that perhaps you'll reach your upper wind limit in slightly less wind than with the 16, where you'll be able to take it out in slightly more wind. But of course with Rick, your rudder. Sorry, there was just a drama in the boat park with an EPO 3 almost touching the bottom. this would be a disaster. If you haven't seen it yet and you like rudders as much as I do, do check out Rich from what's it called, the International Hobie Racing Class Association, something along those lines. He's made a video about the evolution of Hobie Cat rudders over the years, which is really interesting. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm treating it like a book where I'm having a bit every day while I have lunch. It's very good. Okay, just scrolling back. Yeah, so the dolphin striker tension, I will actually make that video just to get those numbers out there for real. Okay, I'm just in the scroll back. Okay, Billy asks, what is a dolphin striker? Well, I think we could go on a little tour for the dolphin striker. What is one? What the dolphin striker does is it provides extra support for the front beam on the boat. Just flipping around. Here is, of course, Bad Boy 94. Most catamarans have a dolphin striker, and it is this part here, the bit under the beam. So we've got the central rod and then these kind of flangey arms, and that provides support for the front beam. But what we can do is we can actually tension the dolphin striker so that it has a little bit of bend in it, which can make the front of the boat narrower than the back of the boat, which is what we want, because then as the boat loads up with pressure, it's going to kind of even out. And it's like, that's why we're changing the toe in on the rudders as well. So look at that pair of tornadoes there. Oh, juicy. And a nice bit of wind this afternoon. Champagne sailing conditions, of course. All right, thoughts on the Hobie Pacific? Oh my goodness. Why did Hobie stop making the Pacific? That is the biggest question of all. The Pacific is an absolutely great boat. If you're not familiar with the Pacific, let's take a look. The Pacific basically came after the Tiger to make a similar platform, but without the dagger boards, so it would be a lot more durable. You can run it up the beach, and it's a simplified version of the Tiger. Very, very strong. Sailed solo, yes, but like with the other 18-foot boats, or with all of the boats, it being a slightly bigger boat just might put a bit more of a limit on your wind range than perhaps with the 16, because also with the 16 you can reef the mainsail, but I believe with the original Pacific mainsail you can reef that as well. And of course you could put a smaller sail on it if you want to sail it with more wind. So the main feature of the Pacific compared to the Tiger is the skeg hull. Oh yeah. So if you're lucky enough to find a Pacific in good condition second hand, then I would snap it up. Great boat, extremely durable. You can, if you hit the beach in one of these bad boys, you're going to damage the beach rather than worrying about damaging the boat. So yes to the Pacific. I did make a video about the Hobie Pacific. Just do a search on YouTube, Hobie Pacific, and I'm hoping that my video will come out top, and it's like a full review video with plenty of Pacific action and frills and spills. Hi Oscar, nice to have you with us. Right, just scrolling back. It's all about the scroll back in the live Q&A sessions if you're new to these videos, because as more comments come in, then I get scrolled to the bottom. It's just how it seems to work. Okay. Okay, I'm still here, by the way. Nicholas asks, what is your 1 year goal for your channel? What a great question that is. I would say by the end of the year, there's just some videos that I really want to make. Like I want to make some big videos for beginner sailors. So for people who are new to cat sailing, just because I think there's nothing really out there at the moment. There's also some more, I've got a list of videos to make that is very long. I will get round to making the writing poll video, perhaps even this week. And you're not going to believe it, but Ricky Nielsen is here.
I just want a big shout out to the guys in Mauritius. Sorry about the oil spill. I hope it all gets cleaned up soon. Stuart, Hemsley, Johansley, all the boys. Giovanni, don't forget Giovanni. All right. See
That's
you in a bit.
Ricky Nielsen, of course, who was one of the main guys out at Wild Wind Mauritius, who have unfortunately suffered quite an oil spill on the reef there. So just sending our best wishes to everybody on the island of Mauritius at this time. Okay, so yeah, I think if I could just keep this with the channel, just to keep this momentum going, which I've kind of got at the moment, where I'm putting out a video pretty much every day. 2 new videos today, just on easier sail hoisting for Hobie 16s and similar, and then for Hobie Tigers and similar, which I think is very interesting. I'll do a third sail hoisting video, which will be for the style of hooking system like on the Tornado or similar, which is, I think, the most common hooking system on a catamaran. All right. Vincent asks, you ever sailed on super yachts before, like Meteor, Kamahitha, Heterios, etc.? No, I've never sailed on a super yacht. I've seen a few super yachts. We do get super yachts coming into the bay here in Vasiliki, but I've never actually been on one. I would be quite interested just to get on one for like a half-day trip or something. That would be quite interesting, but that would do me, I think. But it'd be very nice. I do enjoy quiche, so I believe all super yachts come with quiche as standard. Okay, scrolling back. Lorenzo. Yeah, Lorenzo was here. If this is actually true, you could be on the live Q&A from wherever it is you live, and then next week you can actually be in the Wild Wind Boat Park having a good time. Had a great time at Wild Wind Park last Saturday with you guys. Can you record a video about how to capsize the catamaran on the ground to check the top of the mast? Now that we can do. Yeah, I'll try to do that tomorrow. I remember you saying that would be a useful one, but yeah, so just taking a look at how to safely capsize the boat on the beach so that you can check the top of the mast. Maybe you need to change some tape, tighten up the hounds, check the rigging, all of that kind of thing. Nice one, Lorenzo. Great to meet you, by the way. Nice that you come here for the follow-up. Steedcraft, loving your work, Joe. I'm pimping my boat up in sunny Brighton, and oh, are you joking? Steedcraft needs a Joyrider flag. This is a very interesting question. Yes, I have got Joyrider flags. I'm not going to say coming out of my ears, but I certainly have got a fair few Joyrider flags. I've got the very Brighton style ones with the rainbow kind of motif, and then I've got the black ones as well, a bit more moody if you live in a place that doesn't like rainbows quite as much. So yes, Quinty, I have got Joyrider flags galore. I could even for anybody in the UK, it's got to the time of the year out here where I can even send stuff back to the UK with people who are here, which means the time of delivery doesn't need to be as long. So if you decided today that you want a Joyrider flag and you're in the UK, I could probably have one with you by next Wednesday. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh yeah. All right, thanks for the question. That's a great question. Now we have Stavros here. How is availability at Wildwind for next week? Might convince the wife, bring the family from Athens. Yeah, I am sure that we can fit in a family group. If you've got children between the age of 8 and 13, then we have got kids club as well, which means your kids are taken care of for most of the day, which means you can just get out there and give it the beans yourself, knowing that your kids are probably still having a better time than you. So yes and yes, and perhaps it's worth giving our office here a call or sending an email to the office here, which you can do on reception@wildwind.co.uk, or you could just email me at totaljoyrider@icloud.com, and we can what do you call it, lock that in. Very nice. All right, scrolling back, it's what we do, we just scroll back. All right, Oscar, hey Joe. Yeah, hey Oscar, nice to have you on board. There's Mark. Hey y'all from North Carolina. From doing Show Us Your Cat, I've learned so much about America that I never thought I was going to learn. Like I know now that NC is North Carolina. I wouldn't have known that. Billy says hi Rick. I will pass that on, Billy. Then we've got the Jelly Bean Bomb Gamer. Ah, that's Charlie. Hello Charlie, nice to have you on board. Don't know if you guys are thinking of coming out again this year, but I'd have to say the printing has been going well, and yeah, Dick and Charlie, very enthusiastic Hobie 16 sailors from the UK, who hooked me up with a printing machine so that I could print my own t-shirts out here, and I've been enjoying the purchase with that machine. So thanks again for that, guys. All right, scrolling back. Van 70, shout out from Dunedin or Dunedin, Dunedin, Florida. I'm definitely good at pronouncing names of places. Yeah, nice to have you with us here. And Hobie Cat, hello from Germany. I think that's Ollie, who is Hobie Cat. Nice to have you with us. Bongo Fat Fari, have you ever gotten hurt from sailing? Yeah, I did tell this story last week, actually. It's not a big bit of pain, but basically I got a bit of a strange leg slice from the shroud of a boat. Yeah, but never anything significant, no broken bones or anything too sinister on the sailing boat. Plenty of big gashes. That has plenty of big gashes in the legs usually. The legs are usually the first to take it, but that's probably because I'm sailing in shorts a lot of the time, where if I did sail it in a wetsuit that had legs on it, then perhaps the legs wouldn't take quite such a beating. But nothing much to report home about on the injuries from sailing. Windsurfing, yes, much more, lots of twisting and broken leg and damaged knuckles and all sorts, but not sailing. I've been pretty lucky there, because there is of course a lot of potential for hurting yourself on a boat if you go out in strong wind and you don't treat it with respect. That's when you could get punished. Like if you go out and film 7 ways to capsize video, then you're inviting a disaster there. But fortunately, we applied a lot of care and attention and planning to all of the capsizes in that video. So no injuries on that occasion. Thanks very much. Then we've got, oh, Bongo again. Hey, I love your streams. Thank you very much. Then we've got Mr. Red. After watching your channel, I've decided to get back into sailing after over 20 years. I've ordered an RS Neo. Thank you for reminding me of the fun of sailing. That's what we're here to do, and that means that we are winning. Back to the question, what is the aim for the channel? It's just to spread the joy of sailing. Doesn't necessarily have to be a catamaran, any type of sailing, but just to get more people into it, because it is good for the soul. And in this world of turmoil, it is a great way of escaping the turmoil and giving your mind a bit of time off. Just get out there, go sailing. Very nice too. All right, scrolling back. We're 20 minutes in, and we're going well. Thanks everybody for tuning in, by the way. It's a great pleasure to be really reaching out to most of the world at this time. Scrolling back, if the telephone will let me. All right, we've got Jack. Jack has just bought a Hobie 16 and can't figure out how to rig it. Can you sail up to Cape Cod and give me a hand? Love to. That would be wicked, in fact. Yeah, I would like to, but I haven't got a window in my diary for a little while. But you're not going to believe it, but I've made quite a few videos on how to assemble, rig and prepare a Hobie 16. So if you look on any of my videos, at the bottom in the description, you'll find a link for the complete index of videos that I've done, so you don't have to go scrolling through YouTube or looking on a playlist on YouTube, unless you can navigate that way quite happily. You might find it easier to navigate from the index that I've put together, which you'll find a link for in any of my videos, so check that out there. Okay, scrolling back. Hope I get to the next one. Where are we looking? Okay, that was Jack. Then we've got Mark. Just sold his 2003 FX1 to another cat sailor in Charlotte. Now I have only one, a 2010, which I assume, wow, a 2010 FX1. That I am looking forward to seeing, because the FX1s weren't built for such a long period. I don't know which year they stopped building them, or whether you could still, I bet you could still get one if you wave your money at Hobie Cat and say, could you build me an FX1 please? Then, sorry, going back, Jack's just replied, I've watched them, I'm still all thumbs. I've only used a sunfish and still have a lot of terminal. Okay, yeah, Jack, if there's anything specific, then perhaps you could drop me an email, or if you've got to a certain stage and you're stuck, you could send me an email and some pictures, and then we can look at where it is that you are struggling with that. Of course, for everybody, if you want more, if you just want more, and you need some very specific advice with your boat, which you're not getting, you don't feel you're getting enough from the videos that are out there, then there are tiers on my Patreon page, which means we could actually have a one-to-one Skype or Messenger video or something exchange, where I could actually be there with you, with your boat, but through the miracle of the internet. So there we go. All right, scrolling back. Please, no more questions until I've got on to the next one. Otherwise, what happens if you ask another question now, I'll have to start scrolling back again. thus costing time, which that is expensive stuff. Okay, so that was Mark, he had 2 FX1s. All right, then we've got German's fan. I own a 30-year-old Hobie 16. Think about getting double trapeze. My holes are hard and dry, but I'm still a bit concerned about the stability. Would you do it? Yes, I would do it. But double trapeze, yes, definitely. But then what you do with that double trapeze, in how much weight are you going to be hanging off the trapeze? 200 kilo gentleman, possibly not. But if you have like maybe up to 150, 160 kilos hanging off the trapeze, I think that should be fine. That's what I think. Do check out the quality of the hounds fitting on the mast as well, and check the quality of your rigging as well. If you haven't replaced it recently, that's probably a good idea. All right, scrolling back. Okay. Good morning from Florida, Robin. Nice to have you on board. Nicholas says, I'll take one too. If you're talking about a flag, then you've come to the right place. Just send me an email, totaljoyrider@icloud.com, and I will send you a flag in exchange for some money. Can't remember what it says they are on the website. I think it's something like 35 euros or something like that, and these flags are pretty big. Is that a good view? I thought I'd just change the angle. It's a bit white, you can't really see much, but time for a change. Okay. Scrolling back, by the way. Hobie Cat is Ollie. Nice to have you with us, Ollie. Very good. All right. We've got a little conversation going on between Jeff and Mark there. That's good. Jeff, of course, our roving reporter for Show Us Your Cat. I'm looking forward to seeing the next report. Can't even remember where it was. I think Jeff was sailing with Tim in Florida. A lot of sailing in Florida. Have to get to Florida at some point. Sounds nice. Yeah, so James has got a Hobie 16, which is 39 years old. Oh my goodness. It's amazing how quickly these boats are racking up years. But yeah, just to prove that you can put the double trapeze on there. Yeah, there we are. Okay, then we've got Yevgenia with a waving little monster. Very nice. Hi, Dawson, if I hadn't said hi already. All right, Jeff says he's got 3 videos to edit for Show Us Your Cat from his travels. Just have to fix his computer. Oh my goodness. Nicholas says, hi Mark. Funny to hear that it was you selling that FX1 on eBay. I was almost going to make the trip from New York to buy your boat. This is great how the global community are coming together. One day we'll host a Joyrider TV global sort of gathering event where won't necessarily do it, just be like it'll be in a location that people can get to, turn up, bring your boat if you like, or if it's too far to bring your boat, there'll be other people from the community with their boats there, so everybody can just do some sailing, maybe a long weekend, and we'll have a barbecue, we'll have some beers, it'll be a good time. I think sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think that'll be absolutely fantastic. Maybe we can get some sort of support from the industry where we could actually get some manufacturers to give us some demo boats for the long weekend so we can try some different boats. Maybe some of the different manufacturers that we don't hear much from on Joyrider TV, like Nacra, could give us a couple of boats to try, maybe something pretty fancy, and other stuff. I think this is a great idea. Thanks for coming up with that. Whoever came up with that idea, I think it was actually just me, but great idea. We could do a rudder tuning clinic. Bring your rudders with you and we'll get those bad boys tuned up. This is a great idea. We just need to know where, when and how. All right, scrolling back. Then we got Iron Horse. Advice for 160, I believe that'd be kilo guy writing a Hobie 16. No, I don't. 160 kilo guy, that's a big guy. Maybe 160 pounds. What's that in, oh, that's quite light, isn't it? I would recommend the bag. Check out the video on using the bag technique for writing your capsize boat. 160 pounds, yeah, I thought so. 160 kilos is massive. Yeah, so quite light, I think, 160 pounds. Yeah, the bag is what you need. Sorry, I'm not so good with pounds. I deal in kilos more, but from the testing, for zero wind, absolutely no wind, you need 120 kilos to write a Hobie 16 with normal sails. As the wind increases, so even if it goes up by 5 knots, so 5 knots of wind, then you could write a Hobie 16 maybe with 110 kilos. As the wind hits 10 knots, you could probably write a Hobie 16 with 105 kilos and so on. So there we go. But the bag, you get a bag filled with water, have it over your shoulder as you're pulling the boat upright, and that gives you the extra weight that you need to bring the boat upright. Scrolling back. Okay, I'm getting to everyone's questions. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll go on until we get to 45 minutes, and then I'll have to say that is the cut-off time, because I really do have to finish on time today. So at the moment we're on 32 minutes, which is very nice. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Okay, Sky knocked out 1.2 miles flying a hull last night. Enjoying the challenge, yeah. I think it's a really good challenge. And I think one thing that it's the reason I've decided not to do like I have done with the speed stick, a leaderboard, is because it's the whole flying challenge definitely comes down to your location, how much space you've got, and how steady the wind is that you've got. If you're on one of these lakes surrounded by trees, not much space, very gusty wind, then you are truly restricted, and that would be unfair. But well done. 1.2 miles is cooking. All right, we've got Antoine. Hey Joan, I'm now sailing a laser, but I want to start something new. So should I do cat sailing or windsurfing? Just depends on your situation. Do you have cat sailing or windsurfing available to you? If so, do what is most convenient. That seems to be how everybody gets into everything, is it's all just out of what is available and what you've got the time and opportunity to get hold of. Perhaps you've got a friend who's got a catamaran who can take you out for the first time, show you what it's like, then you can see if you like it. That's a good idea. I think also depends on what sort of wind you're looking at ultimately using this new sport in for. Oh, you can do both. Nice. For windsurfing, to really have a good time windsurfing, it does take quite a long time to reach that level of competence where you can go out in strong winds, you go planing, you go very fast, and it's really, really fun. And windsurfing is perhaps a little bit more practical in some senses. It is a lot harder than catsailing. Reason is, every time you get it wrong windsurfing, you fall in the water and you have to get out of the water again. If you get it wrong with catsailing, especially at the start, all you do is probably stop, and you're still sat on a boat which is quite similar to a nice sun lounger, very comfortable. And windsurfing can be physically exhausting to learn as well. But if you're in a good location and perhaps you've got a good amount of time that you can put into it, then windsurfing's a really good sport to get into. But what you need to be doing is regular sessions for windsurfing. For catsailing, not as much, because it is a lot easier and your existing sailing skills can be applied to it. Oh, hi, nice to have you on board. But with windsurfing, you want to be looking ideally to getting out perhaps for 2 hours a day, every day of the week. If you could do that, then you'd be on the road to great things. Right, I'm going to stop that there. I've gone on for that for a very long time. Okay. All right, scrolling back. Right, scrolling back. Okay, Colin asks, what are your thoughts on the Hobie Wave Getaway series? Yeah, the Hobie Wave certainly ticks the boxes, if that's what you've got. You're not going to believe it. It's that time in the live stream where we have got Pirate Sam with a specific problem. This is Pirate Sam from the Joyrider team. And actually, before we go on to what Pirate Sam's specific problem is, we had Charlie and Dick on earlier who gave me the printing machine, which made this beater. Woohoo! So thanks very much. Okay, specific problem.
Specific problem, there's a rental that hasn't paid, and he might be coming back off his yacht paying cash. Maybe. I stayed for a bit, but he's no sign of him so far. He's French, but look out for him. All right.
There we go. You heard it here first, everybody. And if you happen to be that person who's coming off a yacht, you haven't paid.
Is that 3 in a row? Specific problem?
Yeah, 3 weeks in a row. Yeah, Sam's always there.
See you next week.
Okay, back with more from Pirate Sam next week. Okay, yeah, Alex says the Getaway is my jam. 17 knots and it is a party boat. Yeah, party boat. I think the Getaway looks good. I think, but the Wave is one of the most simple catamarans you can get. It's very good if you're not really looking for the top performance. You just want something very simple that is going to last forever and it's going to be really easy to sail. You could take, it's got a lot of volume. Both boats have got a lot of volume, which means you could take all of your friends on board. You're going to be fine. It's going to be good fun. So, yeah, and if you can find one at a good price as well, perhaps used, then well worth it if it means getting out on the water. The other boats, like the 16s, which we talk about a lot, are a bit more involved and requires a little bit more maintenance, perhaps not a lot more, but the 16 is a wolf in wolf's clothing, whereas the Wave or the Getaway have got soft edges, so not quite as fierce, but very good choices there. There's a reason why a lot of hotels have got a Hobie Wave on the beach. It's just because you just have it on the beach, push it into the water. Doesn't even have a tiller extension. All right, scrolling back. If you've got a question brewing, we've got 5 more minutes for any more questions to come in, and after that, no more questions, please. Just because I really have got to get away today. Okay, scrolling back. Sky says, Hobie Getaway is a great fun, but not a performance boat, great for a day sail. There you go. I haven't actually sailed a Getaway. I don't think I've sailed a Wave either, but I've seen plenty of pictures of them. Sean very rightly says, has everybody liked the video so far? So do hit the like button if you can find it. I know on the telephone it's not so obvious. Okay. All right, German's fan. I would be interested in a video on how to swap the rivets in your boat and what kind of rivets do you use. Yeah, whenever we change the pop rivets in our boat, if you don't know what a rivet is, let's see where our closest rivet is that we can find. It's a metal fitting that we basically use to join two pieces together, whether they're both pieces of metal, perhaps a piece of metal and a piece of plastic, or anything like that. And over time they do corrode and become less effective. So here we are, we're over with a Hobie Pacific. So can we see? Yeah, so all of these are pop rivets, and whenever we replace any rivets, whether they've been aluminium or stainless steel, which I think is also called inox, we always replace them with stainless steel rivets, because the stainless steel rivets are much stronger and give a lot more strength. But if you're putting stainless steel into aluminium, then we do have to use a barrier paste underneath to stop a chemical reaction going on between the stainless and the aluminium. But that is the bottom line with the rivets. Because the rivet has corroded, maybe it's left a bit of a bigger hole behind in the place that you are riveting, then we can put a bigger rivet in. So most things are riveted with 5mm rivets. So when we're replacing them, most of the time we're replacing them either with 5mm rivets, or we're going up to 6.5 if the hole it's left behind is a bit too juicy. There we go. That is rivets. Got a dirty lens? No. Okay, scrolling back. Okay, 2 minutes remaining for any further questions to come in. After that, no more questions, please. Okay, scrolling back. Okay, Martinas asks, what is the best way to get children into sailing? I think, from my experience, I've got a little boy who is 7 years old, and he has got absolutely no interest in going sailing at all. The way that we're kind of getting him to become interested in going sailing is if he's got some of his friends who he can go out with. So to have one child on a boat with an adult perhaps isn't so appealing to the child, whereas I think if there's like 2 or 3 kids and one adult who could go with them, good use for the Hobie Wave there, or the Getaway, then that's going to be more appealing to the youngster there, because it's going to be more like a party. Also, if you've got a short distance, you can sail to another location, and then there could be a little carrot kind of thing there, like, okay, we're going to sail to this next beach where perhaps there's a little cafe, you can have a ice cream or something when we get there. It's all just bribery from what I've experienced personally. We've got a great way of getting kids into sailing here with our kids club, where most weeks at this time of year, in a normal year, we'd have between 6 and 12 kids who are going sailing with our instructors when the wind is lighter, and then when the wind's stronger, they're doing more kind of fun stuff. But that would be what I would say. And then whether it's cat sailing or monohull sailing or anything, I don't think it matters, as long as they're getting out there on the water, they're getting a bit of time in control of the boat to get them started, and just to get them interested. Okay, scrolling back. Okay, no more questions, please. That's it. We have reached our time constraint on questions, so no more, please. Unless, of course, we're talking about something and you're like, this is something I want to get in on. Okay, Quint says, what should G... Yeah, you've lost me there, I'm afraid. Sky says, here's a question. How far should I be okay pushing a 40-year-old boat? Yeah, I think we've already addressed this. Just go for it, give it the beans, but don't give it any more beans than maybe 160 kilos double trapezing. The one thing I would say with the older boats is if you want to keep it nice, then don't hammer it too much in the big waves. The waves are going to do your boat a lot more harm than the wind. So if you want to keep it nice, and don't go out where the boat is constantly going up waves, slamming down, that is going to reduce the life expectancy of your boat a lot more than taking it out in strong wind. Okay, good question. Gideon asks, Hobie 16 or Hobie Wave more fun, fast with friends? I think the Hobie Wave is more accessible to more people. It's a very simple boat. Everybody can sail a Hobie Wave. It's very simple. But the Hobie 16, if you're taking your sailing seriously, then the 16 has just got a lifetime of good fun sailing to give, because it keeps giving. It will keep you interested, goes really fast, but you don't have to sail it fast. It's just a great boat, and that will keep giving. But for fun, the Hobie Wave, it delivers enough. Okay, scrolling back. No more questions, please, because I might not have time to answer. I probably won't have time to answer them. Okay. Clee 33 Abel says he flies planes that are 60 and 70 years old. There we are. It depends on how things are maintained, and not just a yes or no. But I would say, I'm sticking to what I said about going out with the big waves in the older boats. Probably not such a good idea. But if the boat is well maintained, then she's got a lot to give. Thanks for that. Okay, Mark says we need to form a FX1 Tiger fleet in the USA. Yes, you do. Let's make it happen. I didn't know that there was many FX1s in the USA, but there clearly are. So very good. All right, we've got Russell here, and he says, just post the video to the Facebook page. Oh, what? Oh my goodness. Yeah, gonna have to check that out. Yeah, check out the Joyrider Facebook page to see Russell's boat, his F16, getting flipped over in a storm. Oh my goodness, I hope it wasn't damaged. Okay, we've got Jay Cadge Hen. Just came back from Lake Garda. He started sailing an iFly 15 foiling cat with Mr. Stickle. It was mind-blowingly good. You should get one foiling cat to Vasiliki Bay fast. Yeah, it was in the master plan for this year, but like many people's master plans for this year, they've kind of had the rug pulled from underneath them, and the master plan was not able to go ahead. So we were going to have the foiling Viper this year here to take out there to give it the big beans. But unfortunately we couldn't afford to, so we couldn't. Hopefully next year we'll be able to resume that plan. That is the plan. But I've heard good things about the iFly. Worth a look, I think. Yeah. All right, Van 70. Have you or do you know anyone that has rigged their Hobie with Dyneema, and can it be done? Yes, I know somebody who is a great advocate, I believe that's the word, for Dyneema rigging. His name, oh my goodness, why can't I remember? He's in Texas, Galveston, Texas. He sails a Prindle, and I wouldn't be surprised if he says, it's me. I can't remember his name. But yes, you can put Dyneema rigging on your 16, but it would not be class legal for racing, that's for sure. His name will come to me in a minute, but he's a regular contributor to the videos and what have you. Can you give some tips on buying a used Hobie 16 or other boat? Yes, I can, but I have made a video that's got quite a few bits of advice for buying a used boat, but just for the purpose of now, let's have a look at something that's close by. This is a Hobie 15. First things you should be looking at when buying a used boat is, are there any soft bits on the hull? So take your hand like this and give it some, almost like give it some CPR. If it's squidgy and moves in and out, that means there's delamination going on inside the hull and possibly worth avoiding unless the price is really good. And then that might mean that you have to cut you have to get it repaired. Same goes for the side of the hull. Check the underneath of the boat. Might have been run up the beach quite a lot of times. And then you just have to consider everything that you're going to have to replace on the boat if it's an older one. Like, are you going to have to replace the trampoline? Having an old trampoline that's falling apart sucks the fun out of the sailing. If it hasn't been replaced in the last 5 years, I'd say, then you're definitely going to want to replace the rigging that holds the mast up, which will probably cost something like about 150 units of currency. Yeah, so those are some key points. And then if it is a 16, just check around the pylons for any movement there. Lift, here's another one you could do. Lift one bow of the boat. Does the other bow come up at the same time? If one bow goes like a foot up and the other bow doesn't move, then that boat is seriously loose, and you have to consider, is the price good enough for a boat that's that loose? If you're looking at buying something for like 300 units of currency, then you can't expect very much, because that is a bargain for anything that will get you on the water. But replacing the rigging is essential with a used boat. Okay, scrolling back, thank you for your question. Okay, Sean says wants to sail the C2, but the FX1 is next on his list. Good to have a list. And I think you're sailing more single-handed, aren't you, Sean? Which means the FX is a much better choice. Okay. Oh, here we go. Sky says good hulls are key. No cracks or soft spots. Make sure there's no cracks on the pylons and make sure the mast isn't bent. No holes in the sails. Yeah, great points. Now, McCarroll Craft says he doesn't like the stock paint job on the Wave, Bravo or Getaway. It's not for everyone, but I don't know if it's a sticker or if it is painted on. Of course, if it's a sticker, you could just pull it off, put on your own decals. If it's painted on, you could vinyl wrap the whole boat. Dave on Lake Lanier, Georgia, has, I believe, just vinyl wrapped his Hobie 16. I'm sure we're going to see some of that soon on Show Us Your Cat. Okay, got Yevgenia, who says, my son, who's 18 years old, is fond of sailing and would like to study further on different classes, participate in competitions. He was the champion and prize winner of the Ukrainian championships. Very good. How could he spread his wings? I'm only guessing here, but I would assume that in the Ukraine, there's not so much opportunity. So I think traveling somewhere where sailing is massive. There's a lot of groups on Facebook which would be very good for finding out what the opportunities are in different places, different sailing clubs. Yeah, so tough one to answer or to have too many suggestions for. Oh, it's Chris. Yeah, that's who it was. Chris, who was doing the Dyneema rigging. And he has, I think it's called Corrigilio Marine, somewhere in Texas, who make custom Dyneema rigging for catamarans. Okay, we've got Peter. Your videos continue to be excellent. Thanks. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it. Got something special coming up, by the way. We just... can I tell you this now? I think I can. We went out to see if we could do foil boarding behind a Hobie 16. I'm not going to tell you what the results were. That'll be in the video. We had 4 cameras on that one. And the answer is yes. Been doing the foiling on the laser and the aero, but not on anything that is a specific foiling craft. But that is all going to change. All right. Just, I think everybody's just agreeing. Robert says, hello Joe, thanks for the videos. I learned so much. Unfortunately, no questions. It's not unfortunate. I think that just means that I've been doing a good job with the videos, and thank you very much. Okay, there's a Clee 33 Able with some good information. Hobie 16s have 2 layers of fiberglass with foam between. Not fun to deal with. Okay. Okay. Lewis, thank you. Robert says, Joe, wrong side of the camera. It depends on which... What were we looking at? I can't remember. I was just thought you'd like the view of the seaside. But if you want to see my face, then there we go. Sky, thanks for the videos. Have fun out on the water, y'all. Okay. And finishing off with Tony. Hi, Tony. Glad you can make it. So there we are. We've made it to the end of yet another fine selection of questions. And I hope equally fine collection of answers on this question and answer session. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and asking such good questions. Yeah, send me an email. Yeah, thanks, Ollie. Yeah, thanks, McCarroll Craft. If anybody wants a flag, send me an email and I'll get one in the post for you. I've got black ones, which I like the t-shirt where it says giving it the beans, picture of a boat. And then I've got the ones which are quite suited to Brighton, and I can actually show you one of these. I've got one flying up here. There's no copyright infringement going on, by the way. So we're just taking a look up here, and there she is. Look at that. Look at that go. That is one hell of a flag. if you want one, send me an email and I'll get one in the post. If you are in the States, then it may take a little while to get to you, but it'll be worth it. And by the time it arrives, you'll have forgotten that you ordered it, and it'll be a bit like getting a present, which is nice. Okay, so thanks once again, and I'll be back next Wednesday with some more question. Well, I'll be having the answers and you can have the questions. Don't forget to give the video a like if you haven't yet, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Oh, James says still got 2 of the black ones, so if you are in the States, get in there quick, because I have got 2 black Joyrider flags which are currently with James, who can send them to you in the US, and they'll be with you very soon. Hi Jerome, nice one.